Anti-money laundering law in Kenya. Have you ever pondered the origins of the intriguing term, wash wash? This colloquial expression often refers to the intricate practice of cleaning money, known legally as money laundering. It's the cunning process through which funds and assets derived from criminal activities are camouflaged, allowing them to be utilized without raising suspicions about their illicit origins. The term, money laundering, has its roots in the United States, particularly in describing the mafia's endeavors to cleanse their ill-gotten gains through cash-intensive businesses like laundromats. These establishments were fronts for illegal money, which was then integrated into legitimate channels, through company acquisitions or business formations. The process of money laundering unfolds in three distinct stages. Firstly, there's the placement stage, which separates illicit funds from their criminal origins. Next comes the layering stage, where the money trail is obscured to deter detection and tracking. Finally, there's integration, where the laundered funds are seamlessly integrated into seemingly legitimate sources, making them readily available to the criminals behind the scheme. Numerous crime dramas have vividly portrayed how money laundering serves as a crucial tool for criminals to legitimize their operations while clandestinely facilitating illegal trades in commodities like ivory, firearms, human trafficking, corruption, and narcotics. Through these depictions, viewers gain insight into the complex world of financial crime and its far-reaching implications. Let's take a practical scenario.
Meet Morris, a 17-year-old resident of the bustling Shanty estate, known in Lily State. Despite the humble surroundings, Morris's life unexpectedly turns when he secures a private school scholarship. It's there that he encounters Ben, a persuasive figure who introduces him to the world of illegal pill sales in Lily Estate. Initially, Morris sees little harm in the venture. After all, the demand for these pills is high among the estate's residents, particularly those keen on indulging in the local party scene. Starting small, Morris quickly finds himself pocketing up to Kenyan shillings 100,000 per week, taking a tidy 40% cut of the proceeds. It's a lucrative arrangement that allows him to support his family financially. But as sales skyrocket, Morris realizes that his newfound wealth may soon attract unwanted attention. Sporting fresh kicks and relocating his family to the more upscale C.Mputhia estate, Morris knows he needs to legitimize his income fast. And so, he devises a plan. Taking out a bank loan, Morris sets up a high-end barbershop in C.Mputhia estate. Using the profits from pill sales, he dutifully repays the loan, effectively integrating his dirty money into the legitimate financial system. This marks the placement stage of his scheme, but Morris doesn't stop there. To further mask the illicit origins of his wealth, he inflates the barbershop's income by a staggering 300%, courtesy of forged invoices and receipts. The excess funds, derived from pill sales, are seamlessly deposited into the bank, illustrating the layering stage of his operation. With his business booming, Morris decides it's time to expand. Using the laundered money sitting in his bank account, he purchases a string of apartments jointly owned by the bank. Renting them out, Morris enjoys a steady stream of seemingly legitimate income, continuing to repay his loan and perpetuating the money laundering cycle. And so, Morris's scheme continues, blurring the lines between legitimate and illicit wealth as he navigates the intricate stages of integration.
Why should we be concerned about money laundering? Money laundering presents a multifaceted threat to both societal well-being and economic stability. Beyond the inherent dangers of channeling illicit funds towards criminal and terrorist activities, its impact on the economy is profound. Funds earmarked for vital developmental projects are often embezzled through corrupt means and reintroduced into the system as personal wealth. This diversion undermines the nation's tax base and hampers its capacity for economic growth. Exposure to money laundering activities, or even the perception of inadequate transparency and integrity, can prompt a loss of investor confidence. Consequently, investors may withdraw their financial support, triggering a downturn in capital markets. This ensuing instability breeds uncertainty, hindering economic progress and fostering an environment of unpredictability. Furthermore, the disproportionate accumulation of laundered proceeds among a privileged few exacerbates socioeconomic disparities, impeding social mobility and jeopardizing the principles of equity and fairness within society. The redirection of funds into illegitimate channels diminishes the taxable revenue available for essential public services and infrastructure development. This obstructs the nation's ability to invest in critical areas such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure, perpetuating a cycle of underdevelopment that detrimentally affects the entire populace. What has Kenya done? In response to the pervasive threat of money laundering, terrorism financing, and associated financial crimes, Kenya enacted the Prevention of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act in 2009. This comprehensive legislation encompasses a spectrum of measures to combat such illicit activities. Provisions within the act mandate due diligence practices, record keeping, reporting suspicious transactions, and stringent customer identification requirements, among other obligations. Furthermore, the Central Bank of Kenya has instituted guidelines governing cross-border remittances, stipulating that all such transactions must be conducted exclusively through licensed entities. This measure enhances oversight and accountability within the financial system, mitigating the risk of illicit fund transfers. In tandem with these efforts, the Prevention of Terrorism Act of 2012 furnishes a legal framework explicitly targeting money laundering and other financial crimes associated with terrorism. Financial institutions are compelled to institute and uphold robust, risk-based internal controls and procedures designed to identify and report suspicious activity effectively. Notably, Kenya's legislative initiatives align with international standards and best practices established by esteemed bodies such as the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNIC. By adhering to these benchmarks, Kenya has undertaken significant legislative and regulatory reforms spanning various domains, including money laundering, terrorism financing, and cross-border fund transfers. These concerted efforts underscore Kenya's dedication to combating financial crimes and safeguarding the integrity of its economic system.